You don't throw punches, man. He said it ain't about how many, it's about the right time. Well, there was no right time against Pacquiao.
Injuries, and that could happen in boxing. We've seen this. Manny Pacquiao isn't immune to this. He's been knocked out. He's been hit. He's not Floyd, who has been hardly hit. Like, he's been knocked out cold.
Doesn't entitle you to just walk back in after 6 years and get a number 4 ranking with the WBC and fight for a world title. What about all the other guys that are waiting around? It's wrong. We seen Manny Pacquiao.
Stephen A. Smith challenges Manny Pacquiao over his decision to return to boxing at 46 years old, expressing serious concerns about the comeback. According to Smith, Pacquiao is well past his prime, and stepping into the ring at this stage is dangerous.
Bad. I really, really do. And you got to remember, when you get up there in age, I mean, when you go down like that, there's a lot of collateral damage.
He argues that throwing punches at that age comes with Manny Pacquiao and due to diminished physical abilities, a knockout is not only likely, it's almost inevitable. Smith believes the fight simply Manny Pacquiao throughout the boxing world are voicing strong concerns over Manny Pacquiao's decision to return to the ring at 46 years old, especially against a younger, active opponent like Manny Pacquiao. A 5-year absence, with age naturally affecting his reflexes, stamina.
You know, what's the worst case scenario? Someone gets seriously hurt. Someone has like life-altering injuries, and that could happen in boxing. We've seen this. Manny Pacquiao isn't immune to this. He's been knocked out. He's been hit. He's not Floyd, who has been hardly hit. Like, he's been knocked out cold. I thought when he got knocked out by Marquez, I thought he died. It was that scary.
Yeah.
Remember that one? So
I do.
Ultimately, I'm most surprised that if it hasn't been officially announced, if it lands in Nevada or California, I'll be very...
An ability to absorb punches. Many fear Pacquiao is putting himself in serious danger. Manny Pacquiao experienced in combat sports caution that fighters in their mid-40s face a much higher risk of head trauma.
Title a number of years out of the ring. What do you make of it?
Well, one, I hope he doesn't get hurt. I think there's every chance he could do. Secondly, I think how has he got to a world title shot? 5th in the world, you know. Imagine if he was number 1 and 2 in the division and trained all your life to get there, and then Manny comes in after being retired 5 years and or whatever it is, and goes into number 5 in the division boxing.
Manny Pacquiao and prolonged recovery times. Unlike an exhibition match, this is a legitimate title bout, one that could inflict lasting damage on a legendary fighter, whose body has already withstood decades off. Manny Pacquiao, champion himself, reacted to Manny Pacquiao's comeback with surprise rather than admiration, speaking on the unpredictable nature of modern boxing.
And Manny Pacquiao are in talks for the WBC welterweight title fight. They want to do it in Vegas. Pacquiao is 45 and hasn't competed since August 2021 in a decision loss. Mario Barrios is definitely trying to stat pad at this point. In a stacked welterweight division, you can fight Crawford. If you don't want to fight someone who's coming off a W, fight Spence Jr. Fight Jaron or Stanius, you know? Fight one of the top 4 fighters. You're ranked top 5 and you want to fight Manny Pacquiao.
Hatton questioned the logic behind diving straight into a title fight without any warm-up bouts or a gradual return to competition, while he expressed deep.
That's stat padding. That shouldn't even count as a win. And I love Manny Pacquiao, but I mean, in his prime, he would definitely beat Mario Barrios, but it's past his prime. Hasn't fought in 3 years, is 45 years old. It's time to hang it up, bud. I will say though, if he somehow miracle pulls it off, it'll be the greatest win.
Respect for Pacquiao's legendary career. Hatton made it clear that this kind of comeback carries serious risks. He hinted that the decision might be influenced more by outside pressures than by a genuine desire to compete, raising concerns about the motivations behind Pacquiao's return.
The 2 or 3, I guess now, world champions. Doesn't make sense to me, and especially when now you're the WBC and you're like, yeah, let's bring in Manny Pacquiao to potentially win a world championship, and let's say he pulls it off by some miracle. Are we going to put Manny Pacquiao in there with Boots Ennis? Is that what we're going to do? I hope not. And again, this is not me trying to be a hater. It's just, I don't want to see Manny get hurt. And Barrios, you know, not the biggest puncher in the world, but he can hurt it badly.
While much of the conversation centers on Manny Pacquiao, an increasing number of critics are also turning their attention to Mario Barrios, taking on a 46-year-old opponent who's been out of the ring for 5 years. has sparked ethical debates. Many analysts argue this isn't a true test of skill, but rather a calculated mismatch.
Finished his career at 147. That's not where Manny was his best self. He's definitely going to be at a massive size disadvantage here. Height, reach, everything. Again, when Manny was in his prime, or, honestly, when he was still in his late 30s and early 40s before he retired, he could have handled that. His speed was still there. The consistency was still there. He wasn't running for political office and doing all this other stuff and taking time off. We see this time and time again. When a boxer retires, takes a long time off, and then comes back, it usually, again, outside of George Foreman, rest in peace to the GOAT, it usually doesn't go well. And I don't think this is going to either. And it's clear to me that this is done for, a staging of an event versus the actual competitive nature of the fight. Who knows? Maybe I'm wrong and that Manny still has it, but I'm just going to go with what makes the most sense. The WB.
They believe Barrios had the option to face active, prime contenders within his division fighters who would have posed a legitimate challenge. In this context, beating Pacquiao does little to enhance Barrios' reputation or standing in the rankings. Shane Mosley, a fellow boxing legend and former opponent of Manny Pacquiao, recently weighed in on Pacquiao's decision to return to the ring at 40.
Pacquiao's gonna get knocked out by Mario Barrios. And I get it, Mario Barrios is far from a good fighter. Mario Barrios is one of the worst champions in all of boxing, but Manny Pacquiao is so old, bro. I think a lot of you guys forget Manny Pacquiao fought last year and he arguably lost to a Muay Thai kickboxer dude. This dude wasn't even
46. While Mosley had nothing but admiration for Pacquiao's incredible legacy, calling him one of the most decorated and courageous fighters the sport has ever seen, he also offered a
boxer. Yes, he was really big, but the dude was just not a boxer. Honestly, I think the WBC should call this fight off. I think it's not too late to kind of go back on your word and let's call this one off. This fight should not be sanctioned by anybody. This fight should not be allowed. At least Mario Barrios should be stripped of his WBC title for defending it against a 46-year-old. Is there a slim chance Manny Pacquiao is able to
sobering perspective on the harsh realities of aging in boxing? Mosley praised Pacquiao's unmatched endurance, relentless work ethic, and the iconic career that has inspired millions around the world.
This is a clown fight. This is a more clown fight than the Jake Paul Mike Tyson. This is an outrage. People should be up in arms about this fight. This is so disrespectful. Barrios loses this fight, he should quit boxing. You let Manny Pacquiao, an old dude who stopped boxing, and then you're his first fight back? You are disrespectful as a world.
He acknowledged that few fighters in history have managed to capture titles across 8 divisions, or electrify fans in the way Pacquiao consistently has, but with that praise came a warning. Drawing from his own experience, Mosley emphasized that no fighter, regardless of greatness, can outrun time. According to Mosley,
so it's an absolute joke. I love Manny Pacquiao. Love everything about him. An all-time great in terms of what he's done previous, but that doesn't entitle you to just walk back in after 6 years and get a number 4 ranking with the WBC and fight for a world title. What about all the other guys that are waiting around? It's wrong. We seen Manny Pacquiao fight an exhibition against a kickboxer in his last fight, and kickboxers can't box, right? I've seen.
The most dangerous part of aging in the ring is how quickly things can decline, sometimes without any real warning. Speed, timing, reflexes, and stamina begin to fade, and it often happens in ways a fighter doesn't immediately notice until it's too late. Age doesn't just slow a fight.
World champion kickboxers coming and sparring boxers, they can't box. They can kick, but they can't, and they can kick and box a little bit. They can't really box, and Manny didn't look great. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, the WBC, I think we have a lot of time for him, Richie O'Sullivan, but I think it's a mistake, really do, and they should be quite embarrassed allowing a 46
fighter down. Mosley said, "It changes everything. The mind still sees the opening, but the body doesn't respond fast enough. That's where the danger is." Mosley wasn't questioning Pacquiao's heart or drive. He respects both deeply, but he urged caution. In his view, stepping back into a high-stakes, full-contact title fight after years away from competition is an enormous risk, especially at an age when recovery slows and durability drops. For Mosley, this isn't about doubting a legend, it's about recognizing the unforgiving nature of a sport.